Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Have a beginning, in a temporal, spatial, or evaluative sense. The DMZ begins right over the hill. Set in motion, cause to start. Begin a new chapter in your life. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Begin an event that is implied and limited by the nature or inherent function of the direct object. Begin a cigar. Have a beginning characterized in some specified way. The novel begins with a murder. Israeli statesman, born in Russia, who, as Prime Minister of Israel, negotiated a peace treaty with Anwar Sadat, then the President of Egypt, 1913 to 1992. Achieve or accomplish in the least degree, usually used in the negative. This economic measure doesn't even begin to deal with the problem of inflation. Begin to speak or say. Begin to speak, understand, read, and write a language. Be the first item or point, constitute the beginning or start, come first in a series. The number 1 begins the sequence. Have a beginning, of a temporal event. The company's Asia tour begins next month. Get off the ground. Who started this company? Bulge outward. The time at which something is supposed to begin. They got an early start. Begin work or acting in a certain capacity, office or job. Start a new job. Get going or set in motion. We simply could not start the engine. A line indicating the location of the start of a race or a game. Have a beginning, in a temporal, spatial, or evaluative sense. Prices for these homes start at $250,000. A signal to begin, as in a race. The starting signal was a green light. Bring into being. A turn to be a starter, in a game at the beginning. He got his start because one of the regular pitchers was in the hospital. Set in motion, cause to start. The U.S. started a war in the Middle East. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Who will start? Begin an event that is implied and limited by the nature or inherent function of the direct object. She started the soup while it was still hot. A sudden involuntary movement. He awoke with a start. Begin or set in motion. I start at 8 in the morning. Have a beginning characterized in some specified way. Leave. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. She startled when I walked into the room. The advantage gained by beginning early, as in a race. With an hour's start he will be hard to catch. The act of starting something. Play in the starting lineup. The beginning of anything. It was off to a good start. Get off the ground. Set in motion, cause to start. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Set in motion, cause to start. Teach immoral behavior to. It was common practice to lead off the young ones, and teach them bad habits. Reach with a blow or hit in a particular spot. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Leave immediately. Used usually in the imperative form. Perceive by hearing. She didn't get his name when they met the first time. Undergo, as of injuries and illnesses. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Give certain properties to something. Get someone mad. Be a mystery or bewildering to. Suffer from the receipt of. Receive as a retribution or punishment. Take vengeance on or get even. We'll get them. Achieve a point or goal. Move into a desired direction of discourse. Go through, mental or physical states or experiences. Get an idea. Irritate. Her childish behavior really get to me. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Let's get down to work now. Succeed in catching or seizing, especially after a chase. Apprehend and reproduce accurately. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. It must be getting more serious. Attract and fix. Receive a specified treatment, abstract. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Cause to move. Cause to be in a certain position or condition. Come into the possession of something concrete or abstract. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Reach a destination. Arrive by movement or progress. She didn't get to Chicago until after midnight. Go or come after and bring or take back. Grasp with the mind or develop an understanding of. Did you get it? Acquire as a result of some effort or action. You cannot get water out of a stone. A return on a shot that seemed impossible to reach and would normally have resulted in a point for the opponent. Communicate with a place or person. Establish communication with, as if by telephone. The operator couldn't get Kobe because of the earthquake. Evoke an emotional response. Brahms's Requiem gets me every time. Overcome or destroy. Purchase. What did you get at the toy store? Reach and board. Reach by calculation. What do you get when you add up these numbers? Put down in writing, of texts, musical compositions, etc. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Let's get down to work now. Lower someone's spirits, make downhearted. Alight from, a horse. Pass through the esophagus as part of eating or drinking. Lower, one's body, as by kneeling. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Begin to deal with. Enter upon an activity or enterprise. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Leave. Lay out orderly or logically in a line or as if in a line. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Leave. Israeli statesman, born in Russia, who, as Prime Minister of Israel, negotiated a peace treaty with Anwar Sadat. then the President of Egypt, 1913 to 1992. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. He acted the idiot. Behave unnaturally or affectedly. She's just acting. Something that people do or cause to happen. A legal document codifying the result of deliberations of a committee or society or legislative body. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. Think before you act. A short performance that is part of a longer program. He did his act 3 times every evening. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. How does your idea work in practice? Behave in a certain manner. Show a certain behavior, conduct or comport oneself. You should act like an adult. Play a role or part. She wants to act Lady Macbeth, but she is too young for the role. A manifestation of insincerity. He put on quite an act for her benefit. A subdivision of a play or opera or ballet. Be engaged in an activity, often for no particular purpose other than pleasure. Be suitable for theatrical performance. This scene acts well. Discharge one's duties. She acts as the chair. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Be priced at. Represent, as of a character on stage. Form or compose. These constitute my entire belonging. Be identical or equivalent to. Have life, be alive. A light, strong, brittle gray, toxic, bivalent metallic element. Have an existence, be extant. Work in a specific place, with a specific subject, or in a specific function. Have the quality of being. Copula, used with an adjective or a predicate noun. Occupy a certain position or area, be somewhere. What is behind this behavior? Spend or use time. I may be an hour. To remain unmolested, undisturbed, or uninterrupted, used only in infinitive form. Let her be. Move forward or upward in order to touch, also in a metaphorical sense. Government reaches out to the people. The act of physically reaching or thrusting out. Be in or establish communication with. Our advertisements reach millions. The limit of capability. The limits within which something can be effective. He was beyond the reach of their fire. An area in which something acts or operates or has power or control. Outside the reach of the law. Reach a goal. Reach a point in time, or a certain state or level. This car can reach a speed of 140 miles per hour. Place into the hands or custody of. To extend as far as. The sunlight reached the wall. To exert much effort or energy. To gain with effort. Reach a destination, either real or abstract. The water reached the doorstep. Reach a point in time, or a certain state or level. Find unexpectedly. To gain with effort. Reach a destination, either real or abstract. To gain with effort. Put in effect. To gain with effort. She achieved her goal despite setbacks. Exchange thoughts. Talk with. We often talk business. Use language. The baby talks already. An exchange of ideas via conversation. Let's have more work and less talk around here. Express in speech. She talks a lot of nonsense. Deliver a lecture or talk. She will talk at Rutgers next week. Reveal information. If you don't oblige me, I'll talk. A speech that is open to the public. Idle gossip or rumor. There has been talk about you lately. Divulge confidential information or secrets. Be careful, his secretary talks. Discussion. Talk about as a less formal alternative for discussion of. His poetry contains much talk about love and anger. The act of giving a talk to an audience. I attended an interesting talk on local history. Express in speech. The opening through which food is taken in and vocalizations emerge. He stuffed his mouth with candy. A spokesperson, as a lawyer. An impudent or insolent rejoinder. An opening that resembles a mouth, as of a cave or a gorge. He rode into the mouth of the canyon. A person conceived as a consumer of food. He has 4 mouths to feed. Articulate silently. Form words with the lips only. She mouthed a swear word. The externally visible part of the oral cavity on the face and the system of organs surrounding the opening. She wiped lipstick from her mouth. The opening of a jar or bottle. The jar had a wide mouth. The point where a stream issues into a larger body of water. New York is at the mouth of the Hudson. Touch with the mouth. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. Utter nonsense. Articulate. Either verbally or with a cry, shout, or noise. He uttered a curse. Complete and absolute. Utter seriousness. Express in speech. Express audibly. Utter sounds, not necessarily words. He uttered strange sounds that nobody could understand. Put into circulation. Utter counterfeit currency. Articulate. Either verbally or with a cry, shout, or noise. Express in speech. This depressed patient does not verbalize. Be verbose. This lawyer verbalizes and is rather tedious. Convert into a verb. Many English nouns have become verbalized. Articulate. Either verbally or with a cry, shout, or noise. Express in speech. Be verbose. Convert into a verb. Exchange thoughts. Talk with. Use language. The prisoner won't speak. Give a speech to. Express in speech. Make a characteristic or natural sound. Erupt or intensify suddenly. Unrest erupted in the country. Force out or release suddenly and often violently something pent up. Erupt in anger. Break out. The tooth erupted and had to be extracted. Start to burn or burst into flames. Start abruptly. Become raw or open. Become active and spew forth lava and rocks. Vesuvius erupts once in a while. Appear on the skin. A rash erupted on her arms after she had touched the exotic plant. Move away or escape suddenly. Nobody can break out. This prison is high security. Start abruptly. Become raw or open. Begin suddenly and sometimes violently. Take from stowage in preparation for use. A partially opened flower. A swelling on a plant stem consisting of overlapping immature leaves or petals. Develop buds. The hibiscus is budding. Start to grow or develop. A budding friendship. Enter a particular state. Laziness set in. Blow toward the shore. That gale could set in on us with the next high tide. Become clear or enter one's consciousness or emotions. It dawned on him that she had betrayed him. The first light of day. We got up before dawn. The earliest period. The dawn of civilization. An opening time period. It was the dawn of the Roman Empire. Appear or develop. The age of computers had dawned. Become light. It started to dawn, and we had to get up. Bring into being. Come into existence. Take on form or shape. A new religious movement originated in that country. Begin a trip at a certain point, as of a plane, train, bus, etc. The flight originates in Calcutta. Enter a particular state. Contribute to some cause. Open violently. Kick in the doors. Get off the ground. Get going or set in motion. Start up the computer.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.